There's been a lot of units including Brandt and Zoni who have been doom posted over the past few months, and Qiuyuan is no exception because his damage output based on the information that we have so far seems quite low. I've gotten to that part of the story where the game gives you the chance to test him out and see his entire kit. So in today's video, I'm going to be using the information that we have so far to break down his pull value so that you know exactly what to expect when he is officially released and see if the doom posting is well justified. With that said, let's get into the video. His entire kit revolves around providing echo skill damage and crit damage buffs to the entire team and leave the field as quickly as possible, so concerto energy regeneration will not be an issue. Essentially, what you need to do while he's on the field is to regenerate 3 of these 40 stacks, as you can see right here on top of his hotbar, and you can do that by completing the full sequence of his basic attacks, a dodge counter, and finally a heavy attack, and each of these attacks that I just mentioned fills exactly half of one of the forte bar, as you can see right here. When you have at least one full forte bar, his basic attack animations will change or get modified, receives new scalings, and spamming it fills his forte stacks much faster than usual. The new multipliers or scalings are not that high, so you shouldn't really depend on them to do damage even though they scale off heavy attack damage. Just keep in mind that it's just a faster way to regenerate forte stacks and aura farm while he's on the field. Now right here, if I had continuously spammed basic attacks, the next follow-up attack would have fully filled the last forte stack, but I stopped in the middle of his new basic attack animations because I was experimenting a lot in this footage to get a proper look at his animations. Now, do keep in mind that you don't really need to always do normal basic attack or heavy attacks to get one forte stack before his basic attacks will get modified. An intro skill will give him 2 forte stacks, as you can see right here in his kit description, so you can continuously spam basic attacks right after the intro skill to get full forte stacks. But I cannot provide a demonstration for this since he went up against Scar solo in the story, so expect more information in the upcoming guide video. And the same intro skill will grant all teammates 30% echo skill damage bonus, which is actually 74% echo skill damage bonus if we take into consideration the echo skill damage bonus that we get from the Law of Harmony Sonata effect and the 20% echo skill damage bonus that we get from his weapon. When he has full forte stacks, all you need to do is hold the basic attack button and he will use his forte circuit, considered as heavy attack damage, to perform 3 attacks, which does 50% more damage, considered as echo skill cast, but they do heavy attack damage, so be sure not to get confused. This also allows him to regenerate 30 concerto energy. The phrase 50% more damage right here is a bit confusing because to predict how big of a damage the forte circuit will hit with heavy attack damage buffs from characters like Motefi and Yuno, we need to understand if it's a damage bonus, damage amplification, or an additional multiplier to the original damage scaling. If I had to guess, there's a high chance that this is a separate multiplier in the damage equation because you can see similar buff descriptions in Cortethius S6 and Frolovus S6. I don't want to go too deep into the math behind the equations, but do let me know your thoughts about this type of buff in the comment section below. Now, regardless whether it's a separate multiplier in the damage equation or not, the damage scaling from the forte circuit are quite underwhelming in my opinion if we compare that to Yuno's forte circuit damage scalings. So even though this is a pre-release analysis video where we haven't actually seen how much of a damage that he can output, it's clearly obvious that Qiuyuan is far behind Yuno in terms of damage potential. Yuno's 40% damage amplification that she can give to herself widens the damage gap even further. Using his liberation grants the entire team 30% crit damage, which seems to be the only thing about his kit that makes him more universal as a buffer for all DPS units, because you can slap Moonlit on him with a low investment build to provide attack and crit damage buffs to the main damage dealer in the team. So he's not entirely useless outside of Galbarena and Frolova teams. His outro skill is where things get a little bit more interesting. It provides 50% echo skill damage amplification to the incoming resonator for 14 seconds. This changes Galbarena's playstyle quite a bit, and the best way to take full advantage of all the echo skill damage buffs will be to skip her third basic attack where she pops out her wings with Astrites, or the special dash in the Demon Hypostasis mode, since it scales off heavy attack damage, and prioritize using basic attack stage 4 and 5 instead, since they scale off echo skill damage. When properly executed, this is how it's going to look like.
Bathe in flames. Explode.
To hell with you.
Explode.
To hell with you.
Frolova can also take advantage of the echo skill damage buffs from Qiuyuan, since the 3 attacks from his Forte circuit are all considered as echo skill cast, just like Cantarella, and the damage from Hecate in a Frolova team is also considered as echo skill damage. So for those who have Frolova but no Cantarella, you don't have to bother getting Cantarella on her rerun because Qiuyuan can be a suitable replacement. However, there are 2 things that you need to keep in mind though if you plan to play him in a Frolova team. The first one is that you won't really see a significant increase in damage from Frolova's Scarlet Coda or the enhanced heavy attack when she has full Forte stacks, since Qiuyuan's buffing capabilities will mainly buff the damage from Hecate upon casting an echo skill from his Forte circuit or just using his normal echo skill. And the second thing that you need to keep in mind is that you always have to generate red stacks or cadenza stacks with Frolova when running her with Qiuyuan, because the red stacks and the cadenza stacks will deal the highest damage from Hecate because of the high damage multipliers, as you can see right here, compared to the damage multipliers linked or associated with the blue Forte stacks. I can't really tell which team will be stronger in terms of damage per second at the moment, since it demands testing, so be sure to look forward to damage comparison videos for Qiuyuan in Frolova teams very soon on the channel. His weapon pull value demands a separate video because there's quite a lot to talk about, but for those who cannot afford to pull for him and his signature, stick with Emerald of Genesis as a more easily accessible weapon option, since there's no other sword in the game that buffs heavy attack damage. And you should be fine because we've already established that his damage potential is quite low, and you're not really losing team-wide damage buffs since it only provides 20% echo skill damage. Now, here are my pull recommendations. I'm sure the question on everyone's mind right now is, do you really need Qiuyuan if you have Galbarina? And the answer to that question is yes and no. If you're a super casual player, it might be worth it to get Qiuyuan to make Galbarina's gameplay much easier in terms of playstyle, because his free-to-play teams involving Mortefi can do much better if you can cancel her basic attacks with Astrites, so that you can always use basic attack stage 3 in the Demon Hypostasis mode. But it's pretty challenging mechanically because basic attack stage 4 can easily eat up some of the Forte stacks if you don't cancel it very early. And keep in mind that it also makes you vulnerable to attacks because basic attack stage 3 does not stagnate the enemy like basic attack stage 4 and 5 does. However, if you can manage to always use basic attack stage 3 with dash cancels, or implement the tech that I covered in this video, where you can play her the normal way but cancel basic attack stage 5 to use stage 3 when the Forte stacks are depleted to squeeze out a little bit of damage, then you should be fine. Mono fusion teams are also quite good, and it actually allows you to play Galbarina the normal way, since the buffs that Lupa provides applies to all types of damage that Galbarina can do. So don't let anybody fool you that she's bricked without the blind swordsman. It just depends on which playstyle you're more comfortable with. That'll be all for my Qiuyuan pull value breakdown. Hope this video provided value to you, and if it did, leave a like and subscribe to help support the channel because it's free and you can always change your mind. Be sure to also join our Discord community if you're having any issues with the game, help with your builds, or you just want a place to chill or hang out. We're currently having a Lunite subscription and Battle Pass giveaway, so hop on the server to see how you can participate to help you get upcoming characters. Link will be in the pinned comment below. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.